Another really quick rule of thumb that I know, I'm sure Doug, you're the same, variations of this have been used throughout the years, but somewhere between 50 to 70% of your annual income now might be an idea of what you may need in retirement. You know, the reason it's not 100% of your living standards now is just because by the time you retire, most things like mortgages, perhaps some debts, responsibilities for children, they tend to be nearing being finished, and therefore, again, you know, your expenditure levels do sometimes drop to accommodate that. So hence that rule of thumb somewhere along those lines exists. But what I'd really encourage, and what I do when I'm with my clients, would be to actually find out your personal, your bespoke, specific number. And in short, the way to do that is effectively to put a bit of time aside, maybe take like a rainy winter evening, and go through what your current expenses are. So your food bills, your utilities, mortgage, maybe your average spending on holidays, everything that you as a household tend to spend on. Once you have that figure, and probably go from a monthly basis, and then you can extrapolate that to an annual basis, you know what it currently costs you to live. And that's a really good starting point for this type of planning. Because once we know what it currently costs you to live, we can then figure out what things might drop off by the time you get to retirement. I've already mentioned some of those. And more excitingly, and the bit I love, are the bits that we add into that puzzle. So maybe you're going to do, a year's travel around the world. Maybe you're going to spend some more time with your in-laws up north. Maybe you're going to take up that golf membership you've always wanted. Often there are increases in leisure spending, and again, it's good to add those to this potential projection. And once we've got that, we have a really good understanding of what you're aspiring to live off. And we can use that to figure out how much you need to build in your pension pot when you come to retire. And I would really just pause there and take a moment to take that in, because I don't think people always necessarily appreciate it. If you think about how much, how hard most of our listeners are probably working now in order to bring in the income they currently have and meet all their expending needs, when it comes to retirement, you've got a picture that at one point that income is going to stop. And you need to continue delivering that level of income for the rest of your life, be that 30, 40 years, I suppose it depends when you retire and various other factors. That's a really significant amount of saving you've got to put away to get there. So hence why this podcast and why this topic is so important.